Hey everyone, it's Kirsten here, and today we are talking about overtraining and whether or not you should continue working out if you are overtrained. If you think that you might be overtraining and if you want to get your first quick steps towards recovery, then download the free guide below, which is all about the best tips that I know and want to share with you how to overcome overtraining. And also make sure you watch another video that I'm going to post in the description below, which is specifically for women and how their body responds to overtraining and what you should look out for. So make sure to get these two quick guides. But today we're talking about overtraining and whether or not you should continue working out if you suspect that you might be overtrained. The first super important thing is to understand where you are with your overtraining. If your overtraining symptoms are really bad or if they're not that bad, because that determines how you should or shouldn't be moving your body. I have categorized overtraining and put it into three different phases. The first one is the level 1, which is mild overtraining or overreaching. The second one is level 2, which is moderate overtraining. And the third one is level 3, which is severe overtraining. You have to know exactly where you are on the spectrum in order to start taking the right steps towards recovery to get better faster. The first level, level 1, is actually overreaching or very mild overtraining. And this is nothing that you haven't experienced before. Everybody who has ever worked out has experienced that. And this is how it feels. After a really hard workout, you're feeling sore, right? Your muscles are sore, maybe they're sore even 3 or 4 days sometimes. So you have pushed your body pretty hard and now you are feeling it, but you recover from it. So if this is where you are right now, this is just a very mild overtraining, or it's also called overreaching. And when you feel that way, just can take a couple walks until you start feeling better, and nothing bad is going to happen if that happens once in a while. Everybody gets sore once in a while. Now, if you're in the second phase, which is the mild overtraining, this is where you start getting some symptoms because you have had too hard workouts and you have not recovered properly. Maybe you haven't eaten enough, or maybe you haven't given yourself enough rest days. So now your body is starting to feel more and more fatigued. So here are the symptoms that you typically feel in the mild overtraining phase. Maybe it's hard for you to fall asleep, or it's hard for you to stay asleep, harder than it was before. Maybe your muscles are a little bit more sore than they used to be. You are sore 3-4 days, but not only once in a while, but all the time. So your muscle soreness stays on longer and you just can't get rid of it. When it comes to your appetite, you may notice that your cravings have increased, and that may have something to do with burning too much. So your energy that you're putting out is way higher than the energy that you're taking in. So you're exercising too much and maybe not eating enough. And now as a result, you start craving a lot of things. You may also have developed some blood sugar issues. So that will also lead to cravings. And if you're a woman, which I think you are, then you may notice your cycle is getting a little bit more irregular. Maybe you're skipping a few periods. Maybe you are noticing that you don't ovulate anymore, or maybe the time between your period and your ovulation gets shorter and shorter. This is what I call the mild overtraining phase, and it's important that you do the right things here so that things don't go any worse and you don't end up in this severe overtraining phase that we are talking about next. But in this phase, there are ways to move your body and still start feeling better. You don't have to completely stop exercising. My first advice is to always listen to your body. If you feel like today is a really bad day for me, my body is extremely tired, then don't push yourself to do a hard workout or anything super intense or long cardio, because you know that it's not going to make your body feel better. Yeah, mentally it may feel like the right thing to do because you feel accomplished and good for doing it, but you know that if you keep doing it, if you don't give your body proper rest, it's only gonna get worse. So exercise that I recommend you if you are in this mildly overtrained phase are things like weight training, but maybe only 2 and 3 times a week until you start feeling better. And here's how you do your strength workouts. You pick 4 to 5 basic exercises. Maybe there's some push move and some pull move. Maybe there's some hip hinge movement, and you pick, let's say, 3 to 5 movements, and you do moderate rep range, and you rest a lot between you move on to the next thing. So it's important that between the sets you don't do like kettlebell swings or burpees or high knees or anything that's like a boot camp style thing. You need to have this full and complete rest before you move on to the next thing. And remember that the breaks are really for resting. They are not for doing more cardio. They're not for making your body completely depleted, because you're already getting a little bit more depleted, more than you should. So you want to slow that down and really rest between the sets. The second thing I want you to know is that please don't do any long distance cardio if you are in this mildly overtrained state. Long distance cardio or a super intense workout like high intensity workouts probably increase your cortisol more than you need in this phase. So like I said before, I really recommend you stick with basic strength training with a lot of breaks between the sets. And the last advice that I have for you in this phase is to just increase your NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So it basically means all the movement that you do that is not exercise. So there is your gardening and doing stuff around the house and shopping and, basic things, like things where you still move your body, but they are not your exercise. So do plenty of these types of things, so you still get a little bit of movement, you keep your body active, but you don't do intense exercise. And if you continue to do this for a little while, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and you are in this mild overtraining state, then you should start seeing how your symptoms are getting better instead of getting worse. And of course, proper nutrition and a lot of sleep always help you. I can't stress how important it really is to sleep enough. Instead of getting up at 5 a.m. and getting that workout in, sleep. This is more important than getting the workout in. And finally, let's talk about the third level of overexercise, which I call severe overexercising. And this is where you know that things have gone really bad, because you probably were not paying attention to the symptoms in the previous phase, in this moderate overtraining phase, and you still kept pushing yourself, you still kept doing high intensity workouts, so you did like 5 workouts a week, or long distance cardio. In general, you just did too much, and now your body has started to break down, your metabolism is slowing down, and you are seeing the following things. The following symptoms are what I call the dreadful dozen. There are 12 symptoms that we often experience when we are in this severe overtraining phase. The first one is irregular periods or anovulatory periods, or your periods go away completely. So this is definitely a sign that your body has been under too much stress, and overtraining has a big part of it. Number 2 is fatigue. You feel really low energy. Number 3 is feeling cold. Your body temperature is low. Your hands and your feet and also the tip of your nose feel really cold, and maybe you're wearing long clothes when everybody else is wearing shorts. The next thing that often happens in this phase is GI problems. So your digestive system is telling you that, hey, something's up. So you may feel really constipated, really bloated, and a lot of gas in your stomach. Number 5 is low libido, because maybe your sex hormone production has slowed down, so you're not interested in that anymore. Number 6 is your nail, skin, and hair health. So a lot of times when our bodies are under too much stress, our skin becomes really dry, nails become dry, hair starts falling out, so that's super common. Number 7, sleep problems. You either have insomnia, you cannot sleep at night, or number 8, you sleep a lot, maybe you sleep in 10 hours or more than that, and you wake up, you feel like you didn't get any sleep at all. Number 10, your workout recovery is really poor. You are very sore for a long time, and you never feel that you're truly ready and rested for your next workout. Number 9 is getting up multiple times a night to go use the bathroom. Next thing is irritability. And the last one is constant need for coffee and some sugary treats or other stimulants to get through your day. So if things have gone so far and you're having these symptoms, maybe not all of them, but many of them, at least 5 from this list, you know that you probably have overtrained and you are now in this severe overtraining phase. So what are your options here? Should you completely stop moving, or should you do some strength training, what should you really be doing? My advice here is to slow down as much as you can, but also you don't have to completely stop moving. I've seen this advice in a lot of places where people tell you that yes, you should just lie down in a couch or lie down in bed and not move at all anymore. But I personally don't think this is a great advice. I think it's important that we keep our bodies in motion, of course, if you can. Sometimes you can really get to this state where we're like, I absolutely cannot move anymore. Like, I'm so fatigued and so tired. Yes, rest as much as you need to. But if you have the energy and if you feel okay, it's totally fine to, for example, take a lot of long walks. This is one of the best things that you can do in this severe overtraining phase. Take a lot of walks and not, obsessively, not that I have to walk 3 hours a day, but just like enjoy, move a little bit, enjoy the sunshine if you live in a sunny place. Listen to a good podcast and understand that this is really the best thing for your body right now to do, because you're getting a little bit of movement and you also lower your cortisol, which is probably elevated from all this hard exercise that you've done over the years or months. So walking is the number one thing that you want to do in this severe overtraining phase. Second, in addition to walking, you can do other things that are just a little bit of movement, so you still get some fresh air. So I prefer you to do it outside. So maybe it is a bike riding, maybe it's just like swimming in a swimming pool or lake. Just keep your body a little bit active, but not so that you overdo it again. Remember, the goal here is to really restore your body and let it recover before you go back to the gym or before you hit that running trail again. My next tip for you is to take some really slow yoga classes. And I'm not talking about those core power, hardcore, let's get super sweaty and work out really hard type of yoga classes, because yes, there are that kind of yoga classes out there too. I'm talking about things where you can really lie down most of the time and focus on the restorative aspect of the class. So for example, yin yoga is great for that, where you hold longer stretches for sometimes even 3-4 minutes. And when you go to a regular yoga class with a lot of movement, don't be afraid to modify. Remember that you don't have to do everything that the instructor is telling you or what other people around you are doing. Yoga is about your body and doing things that are good for your body. So do the class in a way that feel good, and you're not there to compete with anyone. And finally, if you want to do some strength training, I would, in this phase, keep it really, really light and really, really moderate. I would not pick up super heavy weights. I would not push myself to the point where my heart rate is super up. I would not push myself to a point where I feel really, really intense muscle burn. So these things can wait until you are back feeling 100% and ready to go again. But if you want to do some light resistance training, if you want to do a little bit of core work, these are not terrible ideas. These are not something that you should never ever do. So just as long as you make sure that your heart rate is not going super high, as long as you make sure that you're not getting depleted, they are okay. But it's very, very important that you're super honest with yourself and really don't do more than what your body asks, because I know how easy it is to just say, oh, I have to do it because I've always done it. But now, because your body has given you all these signs, your body is yelling at you, I need break, then that's why you really, really have to listen to yourself and your body in this phase and only do as much as truly feels good for your physical body. Okay, this is it from me today. If you feel like you are really overtrained right now and want to get the first quick steps towards recovery, then please download my free guide that's in the description and get started. Also, if you feel like your metabolism might be slowing down because of overtraining and possibly also undereating, there's another free guide in the description, how to speed up your metabolism again. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again. Bye bye.